EastEnders confirms passion for Callum and Johnny as sparks fly and devastation follows. This isn't the first time that the BBC One soap has toyed with the idea of a romance involving these two, with Johnny having kissed Callum last year during what proved to be particularly traumatic time for him. Callum, who had been offering support and guidance amid Linda's relapse, pulled away after a moment and reiterated that, despite Ben Mitchell being behind bars, he is still committed to his husband. Johnny has since embarked on a relationship with Felix Baker, with the pair intent on moving in together during this week's episodes, which came as quite a shock to Callum. Later in the week, Johnny spends some time in Callum's company, which surprises Felix. And it turns out that Felix is right to be concerned as Johnny and Callum subsequently share a kiss. What happens next remains to be seen, but what we can tell you is that Felix ultimately finds out about the kiss and leaves boss Cindy Beale in the lurch in the aftermath. Cindy is dismayed and thus takes her frustrations out on Johnny and Callum, berating them in a showdown which is witnessed by Lexi Pierce. Confused, Lexi demands answers, with Callum promising his daughter that there is nothing is going on between he and Johnny, determined to ensure this is actually the case. Callum makes a beeline for the Vic, where he informs Johnny that they can only be friends. However, one thing ultimately leads to another and they share a kiss. Before taking things further, they spend the night together. Afterwards, Callum is riddled with guilt and feeling like he has betrayed Ben. He tells Johnny they cannot be together. The question is this really the end of the pair's dalliance? Is it just the beginning of something more? Or will Callum reiterate that Ben Mitchell is still his one and only? Ben, as viewers know, was jailed last March, shortly after he was arrested for committing fraud during a trip to the US. He shared a final heart-to-heart with husband Callum while behind bars before being extradited back to America, where he has been serving his sentence. Callum has visited him on a number of occasions and repeatedly dispelled the prospect of moving on without Ben. But will the connection between he and Johnny be too strong to resist? It has been reported that Ben is set to stage a short comeback later this year, with star Max Bowden reprising his iconic role. Though the way in which this will come to light remains to be seen. However, it does beg the question of just how will Ben react if he learns about Callum and Johnny's night together.
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.